Hey, Tarot fam, welcome back to video 2. My mic went out for a second, but fortunately my computer told me. So we are on to our second part of the Diva battle between Joan Crawford and Bette Davis. And we're going to be focusing on Bette Davis here. Truth be told, I don't know a lot about Bette Davis. I did not watch a lot of her movies. I did watch Whatever Happened to Baby Jane because I love Joan Crawford. But we're going to take a look at some of the energetics on her and how she has impacted Hollywood as a result of her illustrious career. I'm not saying she didn't have an illustrious career. I think she did, but I'm just not super into her. So thank you so much for being here. As always, please hit the like button, share, subscribe. We've had a lot of new subscribers lately. Great to have new people in the community hanging out and having some fun in the chat. We are reading tarot cards. This is just for fun. We're doing energetics. You guys know I've been a tarot reader, teacher, and psychic for over 35 years. So let's get to it. We're going to pull up that card view. And here we go, kids. Let's have some fun. And just like in the other one, I'm going to leave my picture up for now, because it just makes my life a little bit easier. You can see my expressions if I get something wild. So, Betty's perspective on the feud. So, how did Bette feel about Joan professionally and personally? Let's see how she felt about her professionally first. These questions are a little bit different from the ones in the first one. I hope you enjoy that. This is professionally. 5 of Wands. So professionally, Bette thought that Joan was combative and not willing to work with the directors and the writers on how the films were intended to look. She would put in her own 2 cents. Under here, again, we've got that super emperor energy. If you didn't see the first video, this was something that I got for Joan Crawford. Up here, the Page of Swords, she would blurt out and discuss the changes that she wanted to make right away. She would not hold back on it. There was no, I don't want to say there wasn't any decorum about it, but she was not shy about making her perspective heard, just like all the men in the room. And we did see that with the other reading. Here, Queen of Swords, Bette really thought she should have shut up sometimes. How did she feel about Joan personally? We're going to put these cards back into the pile because we might get some more of those. How did she feel about Joan Crawford personally?
She doesn't like her.
9 of Swords, 8 of Cups. She doesn't like her.
I don't like it.
The Tower in reverse, 6 of Cups. So personally, she could not understand the ambition. Bette could not understand why Joan was such a lone wolf, because she does really come across as this lone wolf energy. It would have taken a giant of a man to be in the same room with Joan Crawford, to walk next to her. Now, did we see that with Mr. Pepsi Cola when she married him? I think he was a little bit of a, I think he let her kind of run the show at home, not at business, but you know, she's a tough sell. Like, think about it. If you were trying to set Joan Crawford up with someone, like, who would you set her up with? Let me know in the comments who you would set her up with. Because it would have to be someone who would like a more strong personality in a woman, a more masculine personality. And I do think that Bette Davis thought that Joan allowed her personality. She didn't put on enough of a glamour personality. I think she felt like she really hamstrung herself in some personal relationships. Why, oh, why can't she just be softer, sweeter woman like up here, like old-fashioned women? Why can't she do that? It's no wonder why she's not married over here with that 2 of Cups in reverse, spilling out all over the place. The ambition was running from the anxiety of poverty mindset, of not having enough, of trying to achieve. So Joan Crawford comes across more as an achievement based and not a luxury based kind of ambition. So what about Joan triggered Bette the most? What stuck with Bette? Like, oh, I can't deal with her. I do get the sense that she really tried to like not be in the same place as her. The Two of Wands, the Ace of Wands. So this is interesting. The duplicitous nature of Joan to be friendly with people and then try and cut deals behind them. But in the second again, I like Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford would put herself forward as a more capable candidate for a role, and would bring the reasons why. She wouldn't necessarily just be like, well, I'm better, hire me for the role because I'm pretty. She would actually present reasons for it. And Bette Davis thought that was kind of crappy. It was almost like give the other gals a chance to try. So was this rivalry manufactured by the studios? Now, we already saw, if you haven't seen in video 1, there was a little bit of karmic stuff going on here. But did the studios help to manufacture this? Nine of Wands. The studios let it spill out. They let it spill out. And they did think, this was the days of there's no such thing as bad press. Like, press is press. If people are talking, they're talking. And I do think, again, with whatever happened to Baby Jane, because there was a rivalry between their two characters, that's really good for box office. That's really good to get those receipts in. So yes, I do think that an organic situation or a karmic situation had been capitalized by the studios. I think that they did sense that. You have to keep in mind, and again, underscore, I think that anybody can be psychic. And I think there's plenty of people that are walking around out there with psychic instincts, with psychic insight, and they just don't know it. It's things that are popping into their head. It's that gut sense, that horse sense about things. So I do think that there was somebody in the studio who was like, yeah, let this ride. Let this cat fight ride. Let people see it. It's going to be good for us. And no matter which way it goes, if those girls slap the snot out of each other at the Hollywood Bowl or at the Brown Derby, like, all the better for us. Like, put it in the papers. Put it in the papers. So what role did Betty's... No, that's Sean Connery. I still can't believe he's dead. That is a shame.
He's very old.
I know he was old, but he was smoke show.
But imagine those two together.
Oh, you know what? Like, if they had been at the same age, I think that Joan Crawford and Sean Connery might have made a really good couple.
She'd have gotten a good schmack in the mouth.
She probably would have gotten a schmack in the mouth. She wasn't acting very womanly.
She wasn't acting very womanly, was she?
All right, if you don't know what we're talking about, Sean Connery said some really misogynistic things. Was it Barbara Walters? Oh my goodness. So what role did Betty's ego play in perpetuating this tension between them? What role did Betty's ego play? I hope we're going to be watching like black and white movies all week.
Everybody talking in a transatlantic accent.
Yes, Olivia, I should be doing these readings in a transatlantic accent. Except we sound like Terrence and Phillip.
What are you fucking about?
People are going to hate this video. I'm sorry, guys. So 6 of Pentacles, and that is generosity. This is what role did Betty's ego play in perpetuating the tension? I think Bette was nice to her at first. Oh, I think she looked at her as an ally at one point and then realized that the personality was just something. Yep, judgment. The personality was just something that she could not bear. Five of Pentacles. Get me away from that woman. So I don't know if it's true, but there was a movie about Marilyn Monroe that I saw. We're going to be talking about Marilyn Monroe all week. It's a movie about Marilyn Monroe. I think it was the HBO or the Mira Sorvino and Ashley Judd movie where they both played her. And a young Marilyn Monroe allegedly went up to Bette Davis and was like gushing, like talking to her. And she was like, "That's nice, dear. Get the F out of my shot." And Marilyn Monroe was like, I don't know if that's a true story. That might be like one of those legend stories. There's plenty of them from the golden age of Hollywood. So I do think that Bette Davis did attempt to be kind, but it was from like, oh, I feel bad for that handsome woman. And I think that was it. I think she was like, oh, she's a tough cookie. She can act. She's got the chops. But oh, that handsome woman. Let me see if I can be sweet to her. And I think she got knocked down. I think she was treated like like an intellectual inferior. I think that was a miscalculation on the part of Joan Crawford. I'm gonna have to go and like look up all the details on this this beef between the two of them. So, did Bette ever feel remorse about the tension between them? Did she ever feel remorse? Was she ever contrite? No. No, not at all. Five of Swords means the fight goes on. Two of Wands, get her out of my face. I never want to see her again. Queen of Pentacles, I don't care. Just get me away. There's so many get me away cards here. It's not even funny. Seven of Swords, she's a terrible person. Get me away from her. She has nothing to give me or benefit my career. Like there's nothing I want to do with her. I'm convicted and stuck in this way of thinking. I don't care. And I'm not going to be on the same page as her. No, no, no. 1,000 times no. So, whoo, whoo. Intense. So, what kind of divine fire? We're going to go into how Bette and her diva energy affected Hollywood and the actresses today. So what divine fire drove Betty's performances and public persona? This is like what was she made out of that made her such an interesting person? Ace of Pentacles, the Tower in reverse. So one of the things was that she shattered a bit of the traditional sense of beauty. So she did have some bigger eyes, which everyone loved, but it was not traditional. There was, a very different look that had been in vogue. So that was something that drove her. It was a face that was recognizable in the moment. You could see her and immediately know it was her. That set her apart. Also, her command of language and communication is very, very strong here. Her convictions as well. There wasn't anything about her. She let you know what her morals were. She let you know what her values were, and she stuck with them. And she didn't care whether or not you had an opinion about that. She really stuck to her guns. I think she did want to be more of a conventional beauty. I think there's some of that. And I think she made up for that in her intellect, but more so her wiliness. I think that Joan Crawford really was hyper intellectual and studied and tried and did the work. And I think that Bette was much more, I don't want to say like streetwise, but more wily in the way that she expressed her intelligence and her, there's more of an intuition, an instinct about her than with Joan. And I do think that Bette defied the luck that she was handed with this Wheel of Fortune in reverse. I think she earned hard everything that she got in this lifetime. So interesting. How did she balance personal power with emotional rawness? How did she balance that? Did it affect her in her personal life? Six of Pentacles, Knight of Swords. No, so, you know, again, like highly skilled actress here. Her personal power, she did keep that separate. She kept the 10 of Cups. It's almost like she played out the emotions that she had, and she didn't have to in her personal life. So she could be a bit more of a power center in her personal life. Even the heartbreaks that she had, she really did kind of shake them off. She's the kind of person that only gave herself a moment to be upset if she lost a role, if she broke up with a beau. She like had like almost a strict policy, which seems very Joan Crawford. Like, here's your mourning period. This is where you're going to mourn this particular situation, and then back to work. So I do think she did balance all of that, but I think she channeled her emotions into her work. Does Bette Davis see herself as a feminist icon? That is something that is a gilding on her. She's seen as a feminist icon in the modern day. Did she see herself at the time as a feminist icon? Nine of Cups. King of Swords. She did not. Eight of Cups. She did not. It really was genuinely her personality. She really, and that's not to say that she didn't craft responses to reporters or when she was walking the red carpet or anything like that. Not that she wasn't practiced, but she just kind of, that was her morals and her values. She wanted to be seen as an equal. But she still understood the nuance of femininity. She still understood that there was, I hate to say a long way to go, but she understood that there was value in being an attractive, soft woman. She saw the value in that. Perhaps that's why she butt heads with Joan as well, because Joan really embraced the masculine, whereas it seems that Bette didn't use her femininity as a fulcrum to make things happen for herself, i.e., back to the couch. I think she used it as a disarming kind of energy when she was negotiating something. It's very, very curious. I think a very balanced approach to being a feminist, if you will. So what is Bette's energetic legacy that we're left with today in Hollywood? What is the legacy, her energy left in Hollywood today for actresses? Keep talking about Rachel Zgler. I keep mentioning Rachel Zgler. I think I have to do a reading on her. Like she keeps coming, when I say Hollywood actress, like it doesn't come up as like Gal Gadot, who just got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Like, it's Rachel Zgler. I go, Rachel Zgler. I'm like, who's an actress in Hollywood? Rachel Zgler. I don't know why I do that.
I don't know.
I'm not fond of her.
No.
Yeah. Cute haircut, though. So, what is the legacy that Bette Davis has left for actresses in Hollywood today? Six of Cups, the softness of being a woman, the soft power. We have a Queen of Wands here in reverse. When I teach the queens to my tarot students and my psychic students, I always tell them that the queen is the soft power of the court. She is just as powerful as the king, but she whispers. She does not shout. She does not command. She suggests. She lets people figure out how to go in the direction they should. Bette Davis, her legacy, the energetic legacy here, she is asking women, begging them to go back into a more traditional sense of femininity and utilizing that power, wielding that power without the adversary knowing that they're wielding it. Very cool energy here. It's a very trickster energy. I guarantee you, if I pulled a like a Lenormand card, I would get a fox on her. She is foxy. Foxy in the clever sense. Foxy. So how does she feel about how modern divas wield power and expression? So, we do see some odd expressions of wielding power. We just saw J-Lo do a performance at the AMAs, which she hosted. Good for her. And I'm not making any judgment on what she did, but she's 55 and she was making out with all of her dancers on the stage, which is salacious and titillating and fun when you're in your 20s, maybe in your 30s. I don't know. I think once you get to 40, that whole group having a good time thing kind of seems a little creepy.
Considering her association with Diddy, maybe that was the best time.
Yeah, also association with Diddy may not have been the best time to do that. So how does Bette Davis feel about how modern divas wield their power and expression? Queen of Swords, she wants to see more brains. Again, this less pay for play, less yachting, less affiliate work, less pandering to the crowd. If you're not going to give them something real, the Page of Pentacles is the creator of real things. The Page of Pentacles is forward thinking. Think about where this will take you. Think about where you're going to end up at the end of all this. Are you going to value those behaviors? One of the things that's coming through very clearly is she's like, everything's recorded now, kids. Back in the day, there was a lot that wasn't recorded. People didn't know you were coming in and out of somebody's office or apartment or house or whatever. And now everything's recorded. Beware of those that will shank you. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. Beware of those that will shank you. So, is there a message that Bette wants to give to the strong, misunderstood women of today? Maybe Rachel Zgler. What message does Bette Davis have for Rachel Zgler? Let's do it.
Oh, shut
up. Shut up, darling. Get the blank out of my shot. What does Bette Davis want to say to Rachel Zgler? Snow White. Queen of Wands. Be the soft power, darling. Soft power. Whisper. Remember what I said? We have to whisper what we want under the surface. Page of Pentacles. Where are you going to be at the end of this all? What are you weaving? Are you just stamping your foot and yelling? Methinks so. Five of Wands. Stop fighting. Temperance. She's too reckless. Bette Davis wants Rachel Zgler to know. Let me know what you think of Rachel Zgler in the comments. Bette Davis wants Rachel Zgler to know that she's too reckless. She's too combative. Five of Wands is combative. it can, in a good sense, be a fire that gets conversations going, that is collaborative, creative, that kind of thing. And initially, I think the idea was there, but it translates all the way over to recklessness. Rachel Zgler is not practiced. Remember, I said earlier that Bette Davis would be practiced on the things she was going to say to reporters or people on the red carpet or at events and parties. She would be practiced. She would know what she was going to say. She doesn't like the recklessness and the freestyling that the actresses do today, especially someone who is strong and misunderstood like Rachel Zgler. So last question. This is our final question for Miss Bette Davis, diva extraordinaire. I got to get to know. I think I'm going to get one of her biographies, Greg. I'm going to have to read up on Bette Davis. So if you know a Bette Davis biography, drop it in the comments. I will get it. That is a good song, right? There was also Trisha Nixon. There was a song about Trisha Nixon too. Yeah, I can't remember. It was an alternative song. So what does Bette think of her feud with Joan now? From a higher perspective. Wheel of Fortune. Page of Wands. She can't wait to Page of Swords. Queen of Pentacles, Ace of Cups. She cannot wait to get back into the ring with her. Let's go, ladies. Like, bring it. I'm ready for it. Up top, Five of Wands and King of Cups. She wants this fight to go on. I don't think they resolved the issue. Like I said, they could have been pig farmers in the last existence and actresses in this one. But who knows what they're going to be. Maybe they'll be tech moguls in the next one. Maybe we'll see that. Maybe she'll be one of those Musk babies. I think it's pretty exciting. It's a great idea to have those two go again. So just some fun facts about her. She's the first person to ever receive 10 Oscar nominations. And Baby Jane actually revived her career, but reignited the feud with Joan Crawford. So she was openly critical, combative, and unapologetically direct. So this was a fun 2 for Tuesday, guys. Let me know what you thought of it. Let me know what you think of these two Hollywood icons. I totally enjoyed doing this. I think I've done a reading on the channel about Joan Crawford, but I can't remember if I did. I may be wrong. I may be wrong. So
I think we did do it on the book.
Did I do it on the book? Yeah. All right, so bad. A while ago from the slap. So thank you so much for being here, guys. Don't forget, tomorrow we're going to be talking about Princess Grace, my grandfather's favorite actress of all time. My favorite wardrobe for any movie was Rear Window. Again, if you haven't seen that, absolutely one of the best Alfred Hitchcock movies of all time. Remember, with Alfred Hitchcock, it's what you don't see that's scary. It knows what scares you. So we will see you in the next one. Remember, I have extended the $99 sale indefinitely. I'm going to shut it off when I feel like it. I'm going to go with my instinct on that. So if you'd like to get your own magical reading, go ahead and hit that link, and I will see you guys in the future.